All right, so it's been a wonderful 2 days. I've been working on my 2003 Jetta TDI ALH, and I've been having problems with air in the fuel lines, and that's been causing the injection quantity metering to get thrown off, and the computer senses that and it throws a P0251 code, which has been pointing towards the injection pump, and it's not. As I've stated in a prior video, I bought this car and it had a new injection pump installed because it was having the same problem before I bought it that I'm having. The guy I bought it from took it back to the shop after I bought it, and it gave me the same problem after it had a new rebuilt OEM injection pump from a dealership. So they put in another one. So OEM rebuilt injection pump from the dealership, replaced twice under warranty. So that means 3 injection pumps in this car, and it's still throwing the P0251 code. Injectors are new rebuilt from DWB, I think is what they're called, out of Boise, Idaho. N75's new injection lines are good. Vacuum lines are good. Mass airflow sensors new. Fuel filters new. Air filters new. No carbon buildup in the system. Fuel tanks clean. Fuel pickup wound up being the issue as far as I can tell. I'm still getting a few air bubbles in the system, but I just think that's because it's a crappy design with that fuel pickup assembly. I'm probably going to wind up going to a PD lift pump assembly for the TDIs, installing that and see if that alleviates this issue. If it doesn't, I've done a vacuum test on the lines in the body. They're good, holding a good vacuum. They leak a little bit, but I put a hell of a vacuum on them, so more than what I would assume the injection pump would put on them. My leak was coming from the fuel sender assembly in the fuel tank, because I vacuum tested that, right? And that was leaking bubbles like crazy. So on the forums, the guys in Canada are having problems with gelling and clogging of fuel in the fuel lift assembly. So what I did is I took mine out. The center intake, the center hole port on those is the intake, and there used to be a check valve in them that if you have a check valve in yours is obsolete. Take the check valve out, drill it out with a drill bit. You can research that online. Mine had been replaced with the current model, and I actually had bought another pickup assembly, but I wound up destroying that, modifying it, trying to figure out what I can do to improve the situation, because I realized that the assembly has a flaw in it. You know, air does get in there, and I think it's the return line pushing air into the assembly due to air being in the fuel lines from cavitation, right? So I drilled out my old assembly, which was just fine, and just drilled out the intake. Do not drill out the return, okay? Because I pretty much destroyed a brand new assembly playing around with it to see what I could determine was the issue or how this system works. So basically, there is a check valve in the return line. You need that, I believe, to keep the pressure up on the fuel pump in the return line. It's either that's its purpose, other than if you roll your car to stop the fuel from coming out, but I find that hard to believe because there isn't a check valve on the uptake line. So I think it's in there for resistance, or it's in there also not just as resistance, but to dissipate the air bubbles that might get into the system on the return line back into the tank, right? So you don't have foamy fuel. Long story short, it's a great improvement. Drilling out the pickup tube inside that fuel assembly body, and I still get a little air in the system. So I'm not sure. You know, I'm kind of tired of already working on this thing. So if you're having this issue, I can tell you can find a vast improvement in the system overall. if you take out your fuel pickup assembly and drill out what you'll find in the pickup tube, which is a check valve assembly without the ball valve in it, right? Because Volkswagen had check valves on both sides, then they changed the design. They kept the check valve in the return side, removed the ball valve and the check valve on the pickup side, but left the assembly in there, which caused a restriction in fuel. I drilled mine out and I'm running a lot better. Get a little bit of air in the line, a little bit, but I'm a little bit stumped on that one, so I have to figure that out down the road. I think I'm done trying to figure out what the issue is, and if I continue to have issues with this car throwing a coat, I'm going to put a PD lift pump in it and call it good. So hopefully that helps some people out with regards to air in your fuel lines. All right. Good luck. Take care.